Shalom, I'm giving no praise unto Yabashi, my Shabashi, Muka Hakorash. The bonus unto the apostles, a great millstone, and the honest brothers, they may push in his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And above everybody, are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Muka Hakorash. Giving no praise unto Yahweh. Yabashim Shabashi, Muka Hakorash. It's going to be a relatively quick video based upon what you just seen here. And this is what's known as an A10 Thunderbolt, right? Warthog. And it's the inspiration of the video. And indeed, Esau is the prince and the power of the air. Okay, Esau is the prince and power over the air. Okay, that's his blessing. And indeed, Esau with that particular blessing, has conquered and ruled the world. All right. So what you've seen is a situation where pretty much this technology, I mean, who could escape this particular technology? Who could come up with these particular technology lest they be divinely inspired by Yahweh Bashim Shai? Who could be in a position where they could have the funds, the resources, the know-how to put this together? Save Esau. Indeed, it could be said, like the scripture says within the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter on the 4th verse, there was a red horse and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace away from the earth. And as you can see from these particular instruments, these are not peacemaking instruments. Okay, these are not what you would call instruments of peace. Rather, these are instruments of devastation and destruction. And you better believe, if you was to hear that dropping missiles, well, not really dropping, these are bullets, by the way. If you was to hear that over the skies, if they was taking over a territory, it will bring about great anguish and sorrow when you start to hear this particular noise within the sky, amongst other noises that you would hear in a wartime, okay, situation. And that brings about the understanding of the scripture, or part of the understanding of the scripture, where it says within the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. Okay, also too, a scripture that comes to mind with the same type of emotional capacity to it is the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter and the 7th verse, the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, but really the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, is more on point, because that's speaking about a wartime like situation, whereas Jeremiah is speaking about in general the time of Jacob's trouble, which could be encompassing also two parts of the war that's going to happen right after all the food is gone and jobs are gone and all this, that, and the third. And the MOTB, they're making it mandatory. We know the World War III is going to come after that. But indeed, it's going to be a dark day, man. Okay, you can see these instruments are not there to bring about light, life, and happiness. These instruments were created for the express purpose of devastation and anguish. Okay, so what other scriptures come to mind? The book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter and the 16th verse. Behold, the Most High has created a smith that bringeth forth an instrument of his works. You know how much technology and know-how goes into creating something like this, right? Let's just speak about recoil. Right, let me get into my engineering back. Let's just speak about a recoil. What you seen there is a gun, okay? And we know guns have recoil, right? What you seen there is a gun, and we know guns have recoil. Now let's put our engineering cap on, and let's begin to understand the things that you have to overcome. So you got a center of mass of gravity within a particular plane, right? That particular center of gravity, or center of lift, is going to be really that particular center of lift, right? It's very important to understand where that is, because that's how you're going to be able to load the plane relative to the wings. Okay, and then you have the center of lift. Now when you have recoil, you have to take these particular things into consideration, because the recoil is the force that's being applied right at the front of the plane. You see, you got recoil at the front of the plane coming out of this particular gun. You got the center of lift, you got the lift, you're flying, right? You're moving through the air. But now as a designer, as an engineer, the person that's creating this particular thing, you got to re-engineer the whole thing to take into account the fact that you put a gun at the front of this particular plane that's going to be shooting rounds at, I'll put it in the caption, at thousands, hundreds, whatever the rev count's going to be. Think about that. How much know-how do you have to have before you can go from the blueprints to having that flying wood in the sky? Indeed, it can be said that the Most High has created the smith, right, that bringeth forth an instrument of his work. And that goes even beyond these particular instruments of war that we see here, all right? That goes beyond that. That goes into the ICBMs. That goes into all of these particular things that Esau's created to bring about a lack of peace. Not peace, but a lack of peace upon the face of the earth. It's not been created here to bring about happiness and joy and, you know, enlightenment. Any Edomite that's telling you that is terribly misinformed or is lying to you. Okay? The technology that they have, the blessing that they had, which is the sword pursuant to the book of Genesis, the 37th chapter, 27th chapter and the 37th verse, is such that they're going to bring forth instruments of devastation and destruction. They do not have the capacity, the know-how, nor the inclination to bring about peace upon the face of the earth. They have been here to bring about a lack of peace. They have been here to take away peace from the earth. And this is just one example of that. To the end, the scripture says that he is the prince and the power of the skies. Esau is the prince and the power of the skies. He rules the skies, man. But we know one that's greater is coming. Okay, we know one that's greater that's going to be coming by way of the clouds. The book of Acts, the 1st chapter, speaks about how that he cometh for clouds. The same way he left, right, is the same way he's going to return. Why, ye men of Galilee? Why are you standing up gazing into the skies? Yahweh is coming in the same way. And just like how Esau is the prince and power of the skies right now, he's going to be cast out of the skies, like it says within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. He's going to be dropped from the skies, man. That's the video. Just a little example of one of the blessings, right? Or the blessing that Esau's been given with the sword, okay, being the prince and power of the skies, being able to dominate any sort of a military, right, within the earth by way of this blessing that he's got, man. And that's a scary thing. You gotta you know, check this out for yourself with the headphones, and put the headphones on and be the person. Put yourself in the mindset that you're the person that's there on the ground, boots on the ground, so to speak, or, you know, walking around, and they've used this instrument of war against your people. Man, you're gonna be scared, okay? You're gonna be scared, right? And it's only gonna be worse in a World War III type situation, which you know is gonna come about upon the face of the earth. With that, I'm gonna say a praise unto Yahweh Shemashai, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone and the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. I'll see you on our next one. Shalom.